was hot in the sun yesterday.
Glorious.
I mean, 82 is an average high for us in the middle of August 15th.
Oh, I want fall weather. I want the cooler weather.
I don't think you're alone in that, and it is coming. This has been pretty wild. You can see the high temperatures yesterday were at or above 80 in a lot of spots. So we did beat the record yesterday, both in Boston and in Worcester. But what is more significant is that 82 degrees is the latest we have ever topped 80 degrees in Boston on record. So it's not typically this warm this late in the season for sure. We've had 5 now record highs this year in Boston and 0 record lows. 7 out of 10 months have been above average in 2024 so far. And this is the westerly wind, and that will start pulling in that cooler air off to our west. You can see some 40s on the map, Springfield up to Jaffrey. Otherwise 50s to low 60s out the door in Boston. It's another mild start. Skies are mainly clear. It will be mostly sunny today. We're in the upper 60s at noontime, and we basically hold there through the afternoon. A few spots south of town could touch the 70-degree mark today, so it is another mild November day. Breezy too. That wind this afternoon gusting over 20 miles per hour from the west and the northwest. Again, pulling in some of that chillier air, but it's also drying. So with the dry ground, the breeze, elevated fire risk out there again today. As you know, we just haven't had any rain. We're going to clear out our skies here in the overnight hours. So with a mainly clear sky tonight, it is going to be a little bit colder by tomorrow morning. It's not in the 50s as you're heading out the door. It's in the 30s and 40s. So definitely getting a little bit chillier in the overnight hours. And tomorrow, a little bit cooler than today, but we're still in the 60s, mostly sunny skies, still a little bit breezy. Our temperatures are still running above average tomorrow in the 60s. And then toward evening on Friday, you see this little batch of cloud cover working on through. This is actually a cold front, a reinforcing shot of some chillier air that is going to pull down that colder air for the weekend. So as we go into Saturday and Sunday, we are down in the 50s. Clouds increase on Sunday. It looks like some rain possible finally here on Veterans Day. And I just want to give you one of our computer models showing you the amounts. It does look like it's going to be under a half an inch, probably closer to a quarter of an inch of rain. But we will take anything we can get. That should come in Sunday night and move out later on Monday. So Veterans Day, a little bit wet before we dry things out again next week. But we will take any rain anytime we can get it.
Right. Maybe just ease into it because the ground is so dry.
It's so dry, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you, Cindy.
Good Thursday to you. Boy, what a day yesterday. Low 80s. Not going to be quite as warm today. It's still way above average for November. Upper 60s to just over 70 degrees, mostly sunny skies, a gusty breeze, that elevated fire risk out there again today with these extremely dry conditions. We are gradually cooling it down. So by the weekend, we're actually only in the 50s, which is average for this time of year. Watching the potential for some rain Sunday night into Veterans Day on Monday. It's not looking like a lot, probably a quarter of an inch or less, but we'll take anything we can get at this point. And a good Thursday to you. We just got an update from the drought monitor, and it really showed a big change from last week, unfortunately. So last week we had about 13% of the state in severe drought. This did include the Boston area. And look at the update we just got. Now 30% of the state is dealing with severe drought. This is expanded into the Worcester area, so that nearly doubled. But now you can see this area of brown color covering Connecticut, Rhode Island, getting into southeasternmost Massachusetts. That is moderate drought, and that is covering most of southern New England at this point. It's just we have not had any rainfall the past few months. I mean, since September the 1st, typically we get between about 8 and 10 inches of rain. We barely got any. We've only had 1.5 inches in Worcester, the driest fall on record to date. And in Boston, we've had just over 2 inches of rain, second driest fall on record, at least so far. We've only had a handful of days that we've actually had rain, 5 in the entire month of September, 5 in the entire month of October. That means since September 1st, we've only had rain on 10 days. So it has been so dry. That's why our deficits for rainfall are upwards of 6, 8 inches across southern New England. So yeah, we need some rain, and we may get just a little bit here Sunday night into Monday, which is Veterans Day. That is our next best chance of showers. We are going to cool it down a little bit though between now and then. You can see there is some cooler air sitting to our north and west on the other side of this cold frontal boundary. So that's what's going to be working in today, as the winds behind the front are shifting to the west northwest. We had that southwesterly wind yesterday that pumped in record warmth. We hit 82 degrees in Boston yesterday, which was a record for the date, yes, but the latest we have touched the 80-degree mark on record in more than 150 years of record keeping in Boston. So it was incredibly warm yesterday. Not going to be as warm today, but still mild for November. Average highs are only in the mid-50s this time of year, and we're going into the upper 60s, could touch 70 degrees in some spots south of town. It is a mostly sunny day. That breeze kicking up out of the northwest. It will gust at times up over 20 miles per hour into the afternoon. So with the breeze and the dry air, the especially dry ground that we have had without all the rainfall, elevated fire risk out there again today. So please keep that in mind. We have several wildfires burning across the state right now. Mainly clear, colder tonight. The winds do settle down a bit in the overnight hours, so we will drop in our cooler suburbs into the mid and upper 30s tonight, about 44 downtown. Tomorrow is another day with sunshine, a little bit of a breeze out of the west. It's slightly cooler than today, but look, still we're running in the 60s, which is above average for this time of year. Late in the day tomorrow, you can see how some clouds drop down from the north toward evening. It's just some passing clouds, but what this is a cold frontal boundary, and it's going to give us a fresh shot of cooler air heading into the weekend. So finally by the weekend, it's actually going to be more seasonable with temperatures in the 50s. It's actually going to feel like November here on Saturday. In the meantime, we're still watching Hurricane Rafael. It did move over western Cuba yesterday as a major Category 3 hurricane. Still a Category 2 with 105-mile-per-hour winds. But look at the latest track here from the Hurricane Center. This is now turning this more to the west, weakening it in the Gulf and keeping it out over the water here into early next week. So it doesn't look like it's headed up toward Texas and Louisiana anymore. This may have some impacts over Mexico as a tropical storm as we get into early next week. So good news here for the U.S. You can see our temperatures cooling down as we get toward the upcoming weekend. And then you see that shot of rain on Monday. It doesn't look like a lot, probably under 1/4 of an inch, but it's something. We'll take anything in terms of rainfall that we can get.